The federal government announced $9 billion in new money over the next 5 years in this new budget for Indigenous communities. Some big line items include Indigenous family services, health, and education. There's also some $900 million for housing and community infrastructure. Indigenous leaders have long said that they are in dire need of funding on that file. So for more on that file, we're now joined by Debbie Harper. She lives in her home with 14 family members in the remote Manitoba First Nation of St. Theresa Point. And the home is in desperate need of repairs. We've reached her today in Winnipeg. Debbie, thanks so much for being with us.
Hi.
Hi, and
Hello.
and thank you so much for taking the time here to share your story. I want to start by asking you, I painted a little bit of a picture there, but what's it like day to day living with all those family members in a home the size of yours?
Hectic. It is hectic. It gets very tiring, especially like it's 24/7. Like it's like we take turns going in the room, go sleep, so that way we have enough rest. It kind of feels like a musical room, a musical bed for us sometimes in our home. We have my son had to move out of the house. We used to sleep in the living room on we had a single mattress available because we didn't have enough rooms to stay. And my son, who has epilepsy, couldn't handle being in the home because of the constant traffic. It was a lot of people in the home, including the noise. So he built himself a shack in the back, outside, a very poorly made shack. And because when he was in the home, because of the constant busyness of the home, it kind of feels like Christmas in a mall, in our house. The screaming, the nonstop art, the kids acting, because of we do have special needs children in our home. So he had to move out because he would end up having seizures in the middle of the day, because he can't handle too much people in the home, including the noise.
I'm thinking, Debbie, that it would be a lot for anyone, in particular, as you say, your son who has special needs. We were just looking at some pictures of your home, and it's clear that it's in need of repair. And I'm looking at that. We looked at the pictures of, I think, the shack in the back that your son built, and that's kind of incredible to imagine somebody having to go to those lengths and live in that situation. Why or how do you go about, or why haven't you been able to get the repairs done to the home or even another home? Because obviously there's need.
Okay. We don't have any accessibility to buy building materials that would be like a dream for us. Like for instance, like it's an isolated community. Even if I want to ship a 2x4, it would cost me double that just to send it back to my community. And at the same time, it's a waiting game for us. Even if I went to go buy a board, a plywood, a sheet of plywood cost us $50, whereas in the city or any building materials that we want to buy, it would only cost us $20. And then at the same time, there was winter road, and we have this global warming happening in our community, in the world. It affects us. It affects us because of the winter road travel that we have, and we only have a span of 6 weeks to try and send all the materials that we need. I sent a box of nails, which is about 50 pounds. It ended up costing me $150 just to send a box.
Wow.
And
Debbie, talking about money here, I mean, it sounds incredibly difficult. And on the point of money here, the budget's just been announced, $900 million specifically for housing for First Nations communities. $900 million when a box of nails is costing more than $100. How far is that going to take you? Does this budget give you hope?
Yes, it does. At least, like for instance, in my community, there's a population of 5,000, right? And in that 5,000, there's 640 homes in that community. We're behind 70 homes. And each of these homes, in that 640 homes, like me, I have 4 families living in my home. And there's a lot of social issues because of that, because it is not healthy to have 4 families in the same home, in a 3-bedroom home. And it's about 900 square feet, or it's not much, but we do manage. But at the same time, this is bringing hope for my community that maybe some of it can go to those families that are starting it. My son gives me hope that my son will finally have a home instead of a shelter built out of tarp and scraps of wood that he collected around the community. We tried building one before, but it was just too expensive. We even tried saving a couple of dollars a month to try and save some money for winter road season. But at the same time, we have trouble getting a trucking company to bring all the materials that is needed for our home. We have even right now, as we speak, we have a broken window in one of my grandchildren's room because of special needs children that are living in my home. He couldn't handle it. It's like one child is like a 10 child in one. And then when he got too emotional, he reacted violently, and it's only a 5-year-old. And he broke that window, and now we're behind in building a window. Now we have no window, and we don't even know how to ship it, because at the same time, when we want to ship something, it takes months to finally get something into our community, because food is a priority and plus medicine is a priority.
Debbie,
The chief and council, I feel sorry for them because
it's Debbie, your story is one that so many Canadians don't relate to, but it's an important story for them to understand. And thank you so much for sharing this story, because it paints a picture of what real life and the federal budget and how it all potentially connects and what it's actually going toward. Debbie Harper lives in her home with 14 family members in the remote Manitoban First Nation of St. Theresa Point. Debbie, I really appreciate talking to you tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.